Casting expert, Stafford finally broke the curse. 3 days, 9 meals. Set foot on the African savannah for the first time. The dishes I've tried are not identical. Not only did he catch a wild chicken weighing nearly 2 hours, they also used traps to catch fatty fish. Bake charcoal until crispy, outside soften. Eating extremely has mouth. There's also insect sashimi. Fresh succulent all kinds, even just take a walk around. I also picked up a turtle. I'm lost. The sweet meat made me eat a meal that almost became a fairy. This challenge is in southern Africa. Of Namibia. There's a vast prairie, a shadow. This time I decided to challenge it. After arrival, keep the old rules. You're not carrying anything other than video equipment. I don't care about your hair anymore. As everyone knows, if you don't eat, you live for a week. If you don't drink water, 3 days is enough. It's urgent to find water now. Follow the dry riverbed, walking a few hundred meters. Soon he discovered a natural lake. To avoid drinking dirty water in the lake with diarrhea, I even dug a hole next to it to filter. Take a quick look at this clean, sanitary mud and drink it. There is still land, but the water in the lake is much cleaner. Solve the drinking water. Next, find a suitable place to camp. In front of a freaking old tree. I'm going to camp here. But at the right time, suddenly a group of monkeys appeared on the other side. As everyone knows, these people are very territorial. I'm not careful, it's over right now. It is imperative to start the fire immediately. I'm going to collect some dry wood around there. I started the fire very quickly and started going back to my old job, thanks to the extremely dry climate here. So you just need to blow a little bit to ignite the fire. I have to say that the title of Fire Lord is very effective. Not wrong at all. To avoid the fire at night. And he's especially using stones around it to insulate it. After settling the accommodation, I found a small flock of wild chickens around the area. There's also some big antelope and Peppa Pig. The sight of this makes me swallow my breath. But because it's getting dark, I've decided tomorrow I'll think of a way out. When night falls, I hang myself on a tree. He started the first page of his life. Until the next morning, the nearby duck's voice woke me up early. I almost fell out of a tree in my sleep last night. Today I decided to make a bed. Trees from the ground. I collected 11 dry branches that no one uses around there, quickly erect by manual workmanship. It can only be described in one word as comfortable. 3 of the 4 survival factors have been addressed. Next is to get some protein for your body. 6 across the wasteland. Quickly caught an ill-fated grasshopper. Don't see the date of departure. It's still wobbling, making me look fat. And then we caught the 2nd and 3rd. Complete protein supplements. You get 10 again. Many of the nearby antelope-shaped trees. When I got to the camp, I was going to make a rope as a trap. Water waves rolling by the lake. If you look closely, they're big wild catfish. If you catch a few, it's too much. You go back to camp, make fibers from picked trees and sun them. Then start making plans to catch fish. The principle is very simple. Just use dry branches to form an inverted funnel in shallow water. Whether you can catch a big fish or not is up to heaven. When I finished drying the leaves, I caught the trap. Soon several loop traps were born. He put it where the birds often come. If any wild chickens are foolish enough to come and steal a bite, the trap will send him to his ancestors immediately. Finished work in late afternoon. He was exhausted and quickly fell asleep. Tuesday morning, to take advantage of the cool weather, he used rocks to seal all the gaps in the fish trap. Then quickly go check the wire trap. When he arrived, he was surprised and shouted Mom and Dad. Unexpectedly caught a small bird wing 2.5 hours before we could celebrate. The fish trap next door also reported good news. What a stroke of luck. Caught a tilapia in just a few minutes. So don't worry about food tonight. High-grade raw materials. Just process it and throw it straight into the grill. When the night falls, eaters like you start to enjoy the delicious food. Look at the smooth white fish meat eaten into the soft, fragrant nose. And the protein content is off the table. When you eat and drink, you happily fall asleep. Wednesday came to live more comfortably. Early in the morning, he kept an eye on the wild boar nearby. I followed in its footsteps. Quickly detect the trace of human activity. This seems to be a boundary. The zinc wires. This is a great material to trap. He collected 11 little ropes to bring to camp, and then put another camera next to the carcass. So if a wild boar comes near, we can act now. That night's dinner was still to perch fish caught in a trap. Take it back to camp for a simple meal and fall asleep. Thursday, to check the camera. I found 2 wild boars eating well. In front of the lens. Look at their big bodies. I decided to use steel teeth, some traps around there, and using tree branches. Cover other pots so that pigs can only enter the trap. However, the ideal is rich, but the reality is harsh. The next day I checked the trap and couldn't find a single hair. The first day nothing is normal. I even made another dagger. De La Rosie in case it doesn't control the wild boar. But in the next 2 days the trap. Still no movement. And the previous fish trap was also useless due to the drop in water levels. I just realized that I've been too subjective. To catch the wild boar, he starved for 3 days. Tomorrow is the day to go home, if there's nothing to recover. I don't know how to talk. So he decided to leave the camp further to explore. After half an hour of ice, I was tired enough to rest on the mountain. Suddenly I saw a turtle in front of me. Makes you laugh and can't shut your mouth. I just held it up, and my face showed happiness. Can't help but say, this gift from nature is just in time. Premium materials are still used the old way. Buried directly into the fire for baking. 2.5 hours later, the food was ready. Big fat turtle meat, sweet and fragrant nose. Protein content. You can't even use beef to compare. So time goes on until the last day. In the morning, I use turtle shells to simply make breakfast. Then pack up your stuff, with new hair growing a little. Successfully completed the challenge this time. Stafford continued to survive on the island after being hungry day mio. I can't believe I picked up a wild abalone. The black man also earned a nest. Nutritious bird's nest in the mountain cave. Combined with fresh jumping fish, it's cooked into a delicious soup. It's such a good wildlife program. You've turned it into a paid vacation. In the northwestern Philippines, there's a deserted island without people. This time I decided to accept the challenge. 2.5 hours at sea. We finally got to the starting point. Just landed on the island, according to old practice. In addition to some video equipment and a first aid bag. I didn't bring anything else. I don't care about the hair anymore. Who also knows? The most important thing is to survive on the island. Is to find fresh water. Coconuts are everywhere on the island. It's not a bad choice. Just use a sharp stone to break it. Is to be able to drink cool soft drinks. But the number of coconuts is limited. If you want to live here for a long time, find water source. Look at the trash all over the island. There's a feeling of sadness in my heart. But with the survivor, then it's equipped with heaven. I gathered more immediately, 10 plastic bottles and other miscellaneous items. Then he picked up some weeds and combed them into a bed. I thought I could sleep through the night. Unexpected until evening. I suddenly felt so sad to remember 60 days of survival. Suffering before you, even though it's been over 2.5 years. But the obsession hasn't gone away. Although Sao doesn't have goats on every island. Hanging forest available, so this time it's hard to say whether it's going to hold. Through the long cold night. Woke up the next morning. You look like you're 10 years older. Except for the headache right now. High fever. Then he also shows signs of infection. If not treated in time, can be very life-threatening. Unwillingly, he opened the first aid bag. Take 2 antibiotics. Find a cool seat to adjust the spirit. If you drink the remaining coconut and still do not you can only give up on the treatment. Good luck with the bald man. After 2 days of rest, my legs are getting better. Saw the skill be a day's hunger 9 meals activated. I decided to get my protein right away. That wild papayas are a food reserve. Then I thought I'd take a bite. I almost cracked a tooth that just healed. Side viscous part. Like soapy water blowing bubbles. Don't worry, I'll try a few more times. The result is no exception. It's all hard to swallow. Reluctant. You just have to turn your attention to activity. Picking up an ale outside the beach. Put it in a beer bottle and shake it continuously. According to Show's law of universal gravitation. And soon there was a picnic magnifying glass. With this execution-grade equipment, he used the elementary knowledge he'd learned in college. Gently group a blazing fire. Watch out, after 2.5 years, your survival skills have not declined. Solve the fire source problem. An eater like you immediately goes to the beach to catch seafood. Very quickly an unlucky hermit crab got into the hand. And then there's some little snails and crabs. On the way home, I found an iron teapot. Picnics use rocks to smash it. To cook a pot of rich soup. Take a sip, my parents. Crispy to explosive deliciousness. From the look on your face is enough to understand. That's 10 times more protein than beef. After eating and drinking enough, get a good night's sleep. The escape time has come to the 5th day. Go to the sea to catch seafood. I suddenly discovered a wild fishing net. This is a treasure to bring back to the camp. You're going to take advantage of the tide to survey the surrounding environment. Follow the stone slits 10 meters. I can't believe I found a hidden lake. The lake is in stark contrast to the outside. The vegetation here is extremely dense. There are many sea urchins in the water that cannot be eaten. Carefully picking one up from the shore. Handle all the spikes on the shell with stones. The rest of the orange is edible. Eat a piece that the sky is filled with sauce. It feels really great. Replenish enough energy. I found it on the lake. There's a small mangrove forest. If there's no surprise, there must be fresh water. But to get over there, we need to build a bamboo raft. Go back to camp and find a piece of bamboo. Use fire to cut it into the right section. Meticulously tied up. Soon finish the simple raft. Ready to go, duck. He excitedly pushed the raft to the dog pool over there. But when you get to a new place, you don't get a drop of water. Hugging the psyche no-go hands know you close into the wild with slugs that live in dry trees. Try a piece found soft with smooth. Melt right in the mouth. Tasted this delicious food for the first time. I can't stop. Come back and draw a bigger one. Eat a piece of that, my parents. Filled with delicious sauce that wants to explode. The taste is comparable to the high-end dishes in the restaurant. Michelin full power replenishment. You keep pushing the raft somewhere else. After climbing up a tree trunk, we finally found traces of fresh water. Because I'm so excited I don't know where to let go. I can only drink with myself to celebrate. Then you use a plastic bottle, filled with a large soft drink bottle. It's fresh water, for fear that drinking directly might cause diarrhea. So when we got back to camp, it's using the trash on the island to make a filter. The rules don't need me to say more. Then he put the treated water on the fire. Boil for a while. While taking a sip of hot water, you seem very satisfied. Finally smiling brightly again. The 4 elements of survival have been fully assembled. It is time to improve the quality of life. The next day I picked up some plastic bottles. I need to make some simple fish traps around it myself. After laying in the hidden reef area, whether you can catch a big fish or not is up to God. Time flies to the 7th day. Early morning to check the traps. I found something cool. I don't know what species this is, so I'm going to use it as shark bait. Although the black shark here is quite large. If you can catch one, it's the best. After placing the hook, I hurried to check the other traps. Of course I caught the good stuff. It's just a small jumping fish that weighs about 100 grams. But foodies like you still feel good. But that's not enough to cover your teeth. If you want to eat a meal, we have to find other materials. So he climbed into a hidden cave. Here's a discovery of a more precious food. It's a semi-transparent nest. It's made entirely from bird saliva. It's full of protein that beef can't match. I brought it back to camp. Combined with jumping fish cooked into a pot of soup. In half an hour the food is ready. Nest eats like noodles. After a full meal, drink another sip of bird's nest soup. Nourishing. A decent wilderness survival program, turned into a high-class vacation, thanks to high protein intake. The next few days I lived quite comfortably. Day-to-day sightseeing, enjoying life. Time goes to the last day. You dismantle all the traps you've set, and get on a unique boat with a long name. Completed the challenge this time smoothly. This is a guy who's hungry enough to cry, just because I didn't finish my temporary assignment. Delivered by weak family members, he was immediately thrown into the Gobi Desert, the wilderness of Mongolia. At first I just wanted to get some fresh water, but want to find water where dogs don't shit. It's harder than finding a wife online. I have to keep an eye on the trees. This plant is called firewater by the natives. The inside is filled with water. You can drink with a strong hand. Cool juice. It's a bit sour though, but at least raw has some fluid to survive. However, this little water is just enough to deal with the emergency. They want to survive long in the heat. The desert is urgent. It's about finding the real source of water. It's getting late in the afternoon. There's no survival equipment. I have to make heaven my blanket. Land as a temporary bed for one night. Early morning the next day, after hours of hard work across the road, I finally found an oasis. I'm overjoyed to see the scene. Rushed to the middle of the island, through the reeds, and finally found a clear lake. So thirsty that the mouth smokes, I can't think of anything. I immediately drank like a buffalo, to avoid sun damage to the skin like babies. I'm careful, putting mud on my bald forehead as sunscreen. The body has been replenished with water. The next thing is to find a good place to camp. To a high point simple surrounding observation, I decided to set up camp here. From nearby he collected 11 piles of dry wood, and quickly start the fire. Thanks to years of training, your fire-making skills are now superfluous. In less than half an hour, he lit a big fire. Thanks to the fire I had a peaceful night. On the 3rd day when the hungry blood is almost exhausted, it's time to go out and find some protein to restore strength. To a bare mountainside, he quickly discovered many mouse holes. To have a delicious jerry party, he turned the fire running to muzzle the cave, and tried to smoke them out, but under the scorching sun. It took me 2.5 hours. I can't see a single mouse hair. He returned to camp for 5 hours because he was hungry. I went back to the previous island, and very quickly, he discovered some grass syrup. This plant is rich in carbohydrates, chewed into the sweet and sour taste. Very stimulating taste buds. I ate a few 10 trees. On the way home, I picked up a wild iron can. If you look at the wear level, it must be the baby BA left. I was going back to camp to celebrate with a cup of hot tea. I suddenly discovered a large field of wild fruit. A piece in my mouth, I can only say, "Oh my God, parents." Sweet taste with a mouthful of water. You have not eaten for a long time. I can't help but keep eating. with so many wild strawberries that it's impossible to eat. I believe even without a wife to take care of me, I can still live comfortably, to eat and drink. He came to the lake to draw a pot of clean spring water to bring to the camp, add some licorice root, and strawberries in there. I finally had a cappuccino, hot in the wild. I have to say this guy really enjoys it. Finished tea, I picked up some stones and walked around. We're going to build ourselves a shelter against the wind to keep us warm. However, the work is too expensive. It's only half built that I can't breathe. Looks like we're going to have to add more protein in the coming day. It was early the next morning. He started flipping stones looking for protein. Soon enough, an unlucky lizard was caught. In just half an hour, I caught 4 of them. Bring back skewers and roast directly on the fire. Take a bite. Oh my god, crispy outer shell meat inside delicious to explode. I was so hungry I licked the grill a few times. Looking at your face, you know the amount. It's about 10 times more protein than beef. Eat well, I'm going to solve it. I didn't expect to see any movement on the way. Under the rock. Come closer, Raw is a cute little hedgehog. To see the stranger, the hedgehog is still confused. But I'm hungry and I don't think much. Immediately sent him to his wife. Premium material usually just need whey. Cherry digging a hole. Laying the rock at the bottom and burning it with wood. Then bury the hedgehog and put the soil in the tunnel. Wait until it is ripe, and dig it up, and you can eat it right away. Look at the porcupine meat, tenderized, lean, fat alternating. Just put it in my mouth and it smells good. Brittle outside, soft inside. The taste is not inferior to a party in a Michelin restaurant. Protein is not discussed. With enough protein, I feel like I can fall half a cow. In one breath complete the entire shelter. Considering the night weather here is so cold, I've even meticulously added a warming oven. In addition, we also designed a skylight for viewing. Can't help but say, this guy really enjoys it, to ensure a stable food source later on. You go back to the front. 7 failed at trapping mice. Find a few more caves and still use the old method. After you shut your mouth, you start a big fire. I'm going to try the mouse first and check it out. I didn't sit while waiting. Picking up dry branches that no one needs nearby. Manually, you're done, cover the shelter. It feels great to live inside. After finishing, I was in a hurry to check the mouse. I can't believe after a while of digging, actually caught a little Jerry. Oh my god, got it. I really caught it. Then at a second number 2. It worked, it really worked. Oh my god, a house with 3 mouths just got destroyed. Premium material is still the old way, buried straight in the grill. Half an hour later, the food was ready. Take a bite, Mom and Dad, so crisp that it wants to explode. I know for sure from the look on your face. The protein content in it is incredibly high. After eating, eat some more vegetables to help. It's a survival program. Seriously, you turned it into a miracle. Paid leave. The night falls. I'm starting to miss my wife again. Think back on the past few days of suffering. I'll decide tomorrow, sorry. Maybe you can eat burgers. The next morning I packed up and headed home. Here the Mongolian trip is officially over. Amazing fullness. The sun is a leading figure in the world of wildlife. Your menu is really good. Just because this 2.5-hour red-tailed spider is out. But I forgot to see the good day that you put on the spot. The soft outer layer is an expression that cannot be hidden. Besides, you're a trap. Caught a 2.5-pound fatty catfish. When turning it into charcoal grilled fish, it's turned into a paid vacation. In northwestern Central America, there's a huge jungle called Guatemala. This time I decided to challenge it. Before we start, I'd especially visited a Mayan descendant. He was the last high priest in the village. When I first met you, I saw my purpose. And seriously, tell me a painful truth. There are ghosts in this area. I was still very calm after listening, because it doesn't matter to you now. Then he was led by the villagers to the starting point. Look at the human civilization behind you. My heart starts to panic. Because in addition to some video equipment, I didn't bring anything. And here the CAI man is very aggressive. To avoid conflict with them, he decided to swim through the forest on the Kier side. Hide and grow. Who was born afraid of water. I'm terrified every time I come into contact with a river. Fortunately, the water is not very deep, just a few sips of water to get to the other side. Back to the familiar forest. No compasses or maps. I can only rely on my bare head. Yours to orient. Soon enough, he found a lake hidden deep in the forest. Look at the giant crocodile swimming. Capacity underwater. I immediately decided to set up camp. He picked a piece of moist land by the river, using the tree's branches and its shelter framing. And then find some palm leaves tied to the roof. A simple tent as if finished. The night comes lying on the cold, wet ground. The sound of thunder and rain falling outside makes my heart extremely uneasy. We just got through the first night. Early morning the next day, The monkeys nearby kept screaming, strange sounds like they're making fun of you. But now I don't have the mind to care. The most important thing is to start a fire. I picked up some dry branches to bask in the sun. In the meantime, reinforce the shelter. When everything is ready, fire German chimpanzees began their familiar work again. But even half an hour of hugging the log, the fire is still not burning, and the sky starts to thunder. Not long after the rain, like a drop of water, I hid in my tent waiting for the rain. The wait lasted for 2.5 days. Hunger is almost at the bottom. It's time to go out and get some energy supplement protein. I walked in the woods for half an hour. Then I found a moldy figs. Although it is moldy, the taste is very sweet and easy to eat, both soft and fragrant. It has 10 times the vitamin content of beef. You eat so well that you can't stop for a moment. Take all 10 of them home. Just in time to go back to camp and enjoy, suddenly attracted to a red patch under his foot. If you look closely, it's a red-tailed wolf spider. If you do, the consequences will be very serious. In the face of this huge protein source, I didn't hesitate to send him to his grandparents on the spot. When bringing the booty back to camp, Stafford quickly started the fire again. Fortunately, the dry wood has been drying for several days. You can easily start a fire. With fire, you can finally build. Turn picnic food for the soul. High-grade materials are still used in the traditional way. Bake directly on fire. After half an hour the food was done. I just took a bite that I had to say to God. The outside is scorched and the inside is extremely delicious. The spider's thighs were still smoking. I don't know if I thought you were eating meat. Especially Kia's dark black spider tail. When you bite, water fills your mouth. It feels like nothing less than high-class food at the restaurant. Michelin has a lot of protein in it. General view for survival factors have been fully met. It's time to throw yourself a real party. To catch the big shark out in the lake, I'm going to build a wooden raft to get out in the middle of the lake. Collect 10 pieces of dry wood that no AI uses nearby. And quickly there's a pretty solid raft. I woke up early the next morning to climb my raft out into the middle of the lake. The surprise is this time the benefits of boats. The war can be said to be extremely wonderful. Absolutely no need to worry about crocodiles in the water. He attacked after 2.5 minutes on the boat. We finally reached the middle of the lake. I saw the crocodile hiding in the grass. I don't panic in my heart. Immediately grab a homemade BA fork and start fishing. However, I struggled for 2.5 hours with a stick, without catching a single fish. See how this doesn't work? I quickly thought about using a fishing basket, use the available Leo wire as the main material, and after a while of crafting, I've made a very sophisticated fishing basket. Take a termite nest nearby and bring it to the middle of the lake to set traps. I can't believe this basket is so effective. After half an hour there was a big fish trapped. It's unbelievable. Your luck is just unimaginable. When you want to fish, there's a big problem again. Your teeth can't hurt it. After trying everything that didn't work, I had to break his fin and actually use the dance itself. His gas to break. The shield is the best way. To the stream he cleaned the fish and couldn't wait any longer to start cooking. After half an hour the food was done. See the fragrant grilled fish, delicious with scorched crust but the inside is still soft. Even without any spices, I still feel very satisfied. When you eat and drink enough, I can't help but talk about philosophy. Live with the camera. Until the last day. He burned the field boat and the basket. My fish then carry a little. New hair grows and goes home. End of the adventure. Haha, after 3 days of hunger. This time I was really lucky. Surviving in the wild. It is more comfortable than going on vacation. For grilled fish, charcoal with some strawberries. It's delicious to eat. There's also charcoal grilled larvae. Brittle outside, soft inside. It feels like beef. In South America, Patagonia, there are desolate mountains. In this episode, I decided to challenge here. You get on a small plane, hired for $9.90 of the program crew, and quickly reach the point of departure. After landing is still the old rule. You're not carrying anything other than video equipment, because this is the highlands and in the summer, so there's no need to worry about water. Clean water from snowy mountains is not only pure, it's also sweet. Thinking about the weather tonight, there might be rain. Although this place is on the highlands and it's summer, don't worry about lack of water. However, all you have to do is quickly find a place. Appropriate camp. I went to a small forest to rest for a while, but I didn't expect to find an unexpected joy. The sour grass here is rich in vitamins. It has a sweet and sour taste that is easy to eat. However, the mosquitoes flying around make you very uncomfortable. The way you deal with them is very simple and crude. Bold after eating. I found an ideal place to camp. Use stones to build a windshield wall, and quickly start a fire, thanks to the dry weather. The fire was easy and I had a warm fire. I slept under a sky full of stars. Feeling very comfortable, I woke up the next morning. I feel like I'm 10 years old. Look at the backpack covered in bones. I know how cold it was last night, but as the sun rises, the temperature starts to get warmer. We found that the 3 survival factors have stabilized. I decided to go out and search protein for energy supplementation. Along the stream, he quickly found a freshwater fish. There are no survival tools. You can only touch with your hands, but even if you touch the fish, I still can't catch a single hair. After a long time in the scorching sun, I started getting sunburn on my back. Aware of the critical situation, you asked for a box of relief supplies from the program crew, even though I thought there'd be food in there like chicken, fried or bread. But when I opened it, I only saw a shirt. The program must be very economical. However, this shirt helped ease the burning pain in my back. When it's dark, he decided to build a makeshift tent out of trees and dry wood. It's really nice to be in there. By the 3rd day, he was almost exhausted from hunger. Just went into the forest. You've discovered a dead antelope. Even though nothing can be eaten from there, but the bones that remain are a treasure. Especially the leg bone. It can be used to make fishing rods. After bringing all the bones back to camp, I found a lot of tadpoles in the stream. These fat tadpoles when eating, it feels like it's exploding in the mouth. It's very interesting, but for fear of eating raw, it's not safe. I decided to bring it back. After catching a few hundred, you put them on charcoal to bake. After 30 minutes the food is done. A piece of tadpole. This is really unbelievable. With salty sweetness, it's better than any good food I've ever tried. I'm still trying to hold my nausea and eat it all clean. After replenishing enough energy, you keep soaking the antelope leg bones. I found it in the water. After being meticulously crafted, I quickly got some rudimentary fishing lines. You use nettle spikes as hooks, fish and use termites with eggs as bait. With this kit, you've become a professional fisherman. Down the river to fish. However, it may be that his bald head is too prominent. Fish in the water do not dare to eat. I tried for more than 2 hours, without catching any fish. We have to go back to camp. I thought I'd be hungry again today. On Thursday I was so hungry I couldn't stand it. I saw it was cold. I decided to put the shirt in the supply bin. The feeling of opening the shirt makes me feel alive again. I went back to the river to try fishing. I just stood for 2 minutes. The cold wind from the northwest made my face purple. When he returned to camp, he found himself covered in chicken skin. See that? I decided to stay in camp and make some crafts. The peacock chooses a medium-sized plastic twig. I'm going to make an automatic fishing rod, and its principle is very simple. Just plug a 7-shaped pole into the water, then attach the fishing rod to the trigger device. When there are fish eating, the curved rod will automatically pull the fish to the surface. After the trap is set, he hurried back to camp because of the cold weather outside. Another second is like torture. To the 6th day, a sudden storm came to upset all your plans. The cold wind cuts the meat. I have to sit close to the fire to keep warm. You even have to keep moving. Body temperature. The area around the camp. There are many berries that can be eaten temporarily, but they don't provide enough energy for the body. To complete the challenge, you have to find more protein. To the early 9th day, you habitually check out the traps. From a distance I saw something trapped. When you get close, I found out it's a wild fish weighing more than 2 pounds. I can't help but wonder about my luck. After 9 days of hunger, you can finally eat a full meal. Back to camp. I feel like a fish is too little. Go to the river to fish by hand. Experienced 7 defeats last time. It only took half a minute to get the good news. Thinking of the first experience of catching fish by hand, that has worked. You can't help but applaud on the spot. But the unexpected thing is that in a trap, there's a bigger fish. To keep the fish fresh, and he's carefully made a little pond next to it. Then he changed places and continued to fish with his hands. Not beyond prediction. Good luck to you again. Haha, look at him. With this wild fish, I've even thought about how to make it tonight. However, as soon as you put the fish back, the fish that just dropped off swam straight into the deep water. It's confusing to me. After I remembered, I realized that you made it yourself, because the water in the pond has no circulation. The fish will lack oxygen very quickly. I left a slot next to the pond. It's impossible not to say, smart people are really quick. Look at the protein that's about to be in your hand and it's slipping away. I have to go into the water again. But because the terrain here is so complicated, after a long struggle, he caught only the smallest fish, and the big fish aren't there. In a hungry emergency, he's losing his mind. Just for a short time, you've made the water in the pond a pile of mud. Looky, I finally caught 4 wild river fish. When I got to the camp, I hurried to cook. After half an hour the food was done. It's accompanied by freshly picked berries. After 9 days of hunger, I finally got a good piece of protein. The taste of grilled fish is still crispy, as familiar as chicken. When you're done eating, you can't help but start talking about morality first. The next morning it was finally time to break up. I went to the pond yesterday to fish. There were also 10 wild river fish in it. But now you don't need this protein anymore. Sure, my wife at home prepared the bread. Good meat is waiting for you.